My name's Peter Kearney and I'm a songwriter. I write all sorts of songs, but many of them are inspired by people that I meet as I travel around Australia. They combine my own concerns and yet weave in things that I've drawn from other people's lives. In a sense, they're all about the story we share. It's a story that's older than you or me. Deep as a well in the desert must be a journey begun in the far-off time when Abraham believed the sign God gave. And the story is mine, the story is ours. If we open our ears we can hear a story that grows with the passing of years, made of our laughter, struggle and fears. The story we share, the journey to there is happening here. It's a story the child and the grandmother share, a mystery to ponder, a journey to make if we dare, a story to help us grow tall, a tale of love, the story of us all. And the story is mine, the story is ours. If we open our ears we can hear a story that grows with the passing of years, made of our laughter, struggle and fears. The story we share, the journey to there is happening here. The story we share, the journey to there. Words and images, they wear out with time, and this applies to religious images and words as well. And as a songwriter, one of the main challenges for me is to find some fresh words and images for ideas that seem true. And an idea that still has power for me is the idea of a God. It's the idea behind Christmas, the God who comes down from the heights and becomes part of ordinary life. God of the mess that we're in, you still bless us and feel every bump when we fall. You see the good in our hearts and you know how we struggle. You fathered and mothered us all. You see through the eyes of the child on the street, the man on the door who drinks down defeat, the mother alone, her rent overdue. It's not what you want, but it's true. God of the mess that we're in, you still bless us and feel every bump when we fall. You see the good in our hearts and you know how we struggle. You fathered and mothered us all. The old man confused, the junkie in jail, the baby all bruised, a victim so frail. Good things go wrong, we try and we fail, over and over again. God of the mess that we're in, you still bless us and feel every bump when we fall. You see the good in our hearts and you know how we struggle. You fathered and mothered us all. God of the mess that we're in, you still bless us and feel every bump when we fall. You see the good in our hearts and you know how we struggle. You fathered and mothered us all. But the seasons turn round and wounds they can mend. A neighbor comes round, you laugh in the end. You take a deep breath and you count up to 10. and start it all over again. God of the mess that we're in, you still bless us and feel every bump when we fall. You see the good in our hearts and you know how we struggle. You fathered and mothered us all. You fathered and mothered us all. Well, how are you today? Are you all right?
Yes.
Do you remember when I came up earlier in the year and we sang that song? Well,
yes.
Actually, I only had one chorus of the song then, didn't I? But it was a song I wrote especially for you children. What I really loved about that time with you is I thought, well, here we've got children from all of the countries of the world, you know, and we're all coming together to make the Australia that's going to be. And before we sing the song, I thought I might just ask a few of you a question or so. How about you girls here now? Where do your parents come from, Nina?
Both my mum and my dad, they come from Sicily.
From Sicily.
Well, my mum and dad comes from Vietnam.
My parents come from Timor.
The same as Nina.
My parents come from Italy.
My mum comes from Australia, but her parents were originated in Italy, and my father's parents were Italian too, but my father was born in Argentina.
Now, Nina and Twitvan and Linda, would you like to tell me what you like about Australia, what you think's special about Australia?
Well, what I really like about Australia is the nationalities and all the native birds and animals that fly around our parks today.
They're great, aren't they?
Yes.
What's special to you about Australia, Twitvan?
Well, how our country is free and all around us, the world, people come from other countries because our country is free.
Well, I like the buildings, like, for example, the Harbour Bridge, the Sydney Tower and the Opera House.
Well, we've got the United Nations in this class, I reckon. Where do you come from, Levan?
Cambodia.
Cambodia. And what about Lisa over there?
India.
From India. There's a couple of girls from Chile somewhere here. There they are, right. And what about yourself? Where are you from?
I'm from Poland.
From Poland. And now all living in the land of Australia, which is the name of the song I wrote for you children. And I think you know it pretty good, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's try it. Living in the land that we all call home, living in the land of Australia, in the great Southland beneath a cross of stars, listen to the song of Australia. Living in the land that we all call home, living in the land of Australia, in the great Southland neath the cross of stars, listen to the song of Australia, hear the drone of the didgeridoo, with the clapstick rhythms and flutes and fiddles and kids all clapping their hands, and the bells all ringing and the magpies singing the endless song of this land. Is your skin dark brown or freckled and pale? Living in the land of Australia. Are you large or small like the willy wagtail? Listen to the song of Australia. Did you come here early or late? Do you live in the mallee or a snowfield chalet or a farm on the top of a hill? Where the wombat listens as the wind just whistles the endless song of this land. Let's sing it. Living in the land that we all call home, living in the land of Australia, in the great Southland neath the cross of stars, listen to the song of Australia, hear the drone of the didgeridoo, with the clapstick rhythms and flutes and fiddles and kids all clapping their hands, and the bells all ringing and the magpies singing the endless song of this land. It's Australia, living in the land of Australia. Listen to the song of Australia. Do you live in a house on a new estate, living in the land of Australia? Or the 17th floor, no yard, no gate? Listen to the song of Australia. Do you live in a van by the sea, where the waves keep crashing and the thongs flip-flapping, or down in the banks of a creek? Be it Mutt Mutt Billy or Turn Back Jimmy, or part of the song of this land. So let's sing it, living in the land that we all call home, living in the land of Australia, in the great Southland, in the cross of stars. Listen to the song of Australia, hear the drone of the didgeridoo, with the clapstick rhythms and flutes and fiddles and kids all clapping their hands, and the bells are ringing and the magpies singing the endless song of this land. It's Australia, living in the land of Australia. Listen to the song of Australia. Listen to the song of Australia.
I've suggested in one of my songs that perhaps if Jesus was being born in Australia today, he might be born as an Aboriginal man on the outskirts of a country town, and as such he'd come as quite a shock to the establishment, just as he was in his own time. I think the message behind this is that when God enters into human history, it's in a surprising way to many.
Who is this child lies in a stable? Who is this baby born so poor? He is the child called Jesus, and he is a king. Do you know him? And who is this man who sleeps by the roadside? Has he no home to keep him warm? He is the man called Jesus, calls no place his home. Do you love him? He's a king. And I ask you, who to place high, who to place low, who can say? And who is this man who sleeps by the roadside? Has he no home to keep him warm? He is the man called Annie, man, he has no home. Do you love him? He's a man. And I ask you, who is the tramp and who is the king? Who can say? And who is this man here on a cross hung, numbered with thieves and scorned by all? He is the man called Jesus, and he is a king. If you love him, judge no one.
I first met Arthur and Leela Murray when I sang at a vigil to mark the anniversary of their son's death. Eddie was found dead in a police cell in 1981, and since that time they've been searching for justice. And sadly, it's a very common story amongst the Aboriginal people of Australia.
G'day, Arthur. Good to see you again, mate. Leela there? Oh, hi, Leela. Good to see you.
from Wee Waa originally, don't you? In the northwest there. What brought you down to Sydney?
For the Royal Commission.
That was for, about Eddie's death.
Eddie's death, yeah.
Mm. Yes, that was... could you tell us a bit about that, Arthur? You know, what happened? How did you find out about it, and what happened?
He was with a group of other Aboriginal boys down on the riverbank, celebrating. He was coming back to Sydney. He was playing football down with Redfern All Blacks, and he was coming back to Sydney that afternoon on the train, and so he went to celebrate with a few of his young mates. After being detained by the police, an hour later they found him hanging in his cell. About an hour after his arrest. The police notified us and told us that they had arrested Hetty and went back to inspect him in his cell, and they found him hanging by a strip of blanket.
Mm.
We couldn't believe it. Well, as a matter of fact, we still can't believe it up to this day.
Unless the grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, there can be no harvest underneath the sky. We gather here this day to mourn a friend of ours cut down. In the prime of life he was so needlessly cut down. We give him back to earth now. No more will he bleed. We're not burying a body. We plant a seed. Unless the grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, there can be no harvest underneath these skies. Blessed is the dream we share, peace and justice in this land. Blessed are the ones who mourn, he who died by hatred's hand. He died for us a martyr, and so by our deep creed, we're not burying a body. We plant a seed. We're not burying a body. We plant a seed.
I'm always glad when a group of people from the L'Arche community comes to one of my concerts. They love to sing a song I wrote for them called All Aboard the Ark. These are people that have great qualities of humour and trust and simple insight, and they certainly help an audience relax. How did L'Arche start off? I mean, what was the original idea behind it all?
Well, we go back to 1964, and Jean Vanier, who's the founder of L'Arche, had this inspiration of inviting two people with intellectual disability to come and live with him. And to share his life with them, and vice versa. And so that was where the seed was planted. And now there's 90 communities around the world. And basically, the communities were set as to invite people to come. Well, in Australia, people with intellectual disability, to come with assistants who are called, that want to come and live the community, to share our lives together. In the in the daily routines.
And yourself, Claire, how long have you been living in L'Arche community?
6 years.
6 years, yeah.
Today.
And that's a full-time life and work for you?
It's full-time, yes. Yes.
And have many people come to join you? I mean, do you have people coming to join you in these communities?
We do. Yeah, people come for a little while, or people come longer. You know, like myself, I mean, I've been here 6 years. Others might come for a year, and we have visitors from overseas that come for 3 months or 6 months.
So everyone's welcome?
Everyone's welcome.
All aboard the Ark?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Did you see that Noah bloke on the box the other day? He gave out a warning, there's a deluge on the way. He's made a boat, that thing will never float. But he don't seem worried, he's just living day by day. And this is what he says: all aboard the Ark, no first or second class. Everyone is welcome and the tickets are for free on board the Ark. The slow can join the fast. We'd all be laughing if we had such company. And did you see his passengers, that raggy, shaggy crew? All shapes and sizes and skins of every hue. They've heard the words about a rainbow world. It don't seem like common sense, but they reckon they'll get through. So all aboard the Ark, no first or second class. Everyone is welcome and the tickets are for free on board the Ark. The slow can join the fast. We'd all be laughing if we had such company. And did you catch his answer when they asked him to explain just how a flood could come without 40 days of rain? From the tears that fall, he said, behind a million walls. Well, either he's a prophet or he's cracked under the strain. So all aboard the Ark, no first or second class. Everyone is welcome and the tickets are for free on board the Ark. The slow can join the fast. We'd all be laughing if we had such company. You know the thing about the Ark that really got to me? Everyone's respected and you don't even need a degree, early or late. They like to celebrate, and if we get our move on, we'll be there in time for tea. And what do we say? All aboard the Ark, no first or second class. Everyone is welcome and the tickets are for free on board the Ark. The slow can join the fast. We'd all be laughing if we had such company.
I've been writing songs for 25 years now, but I don't get tired of it. I write the songs alone, but then I take them out into the world and they become part of people's lives. It's a good feeling. Songs are only small things, but they can mean a lot. They can reflect people's lives and all the little stories that go to make up the big story. And they can be a lot of fun as well. I hope I'll be writing and singing songs for many years to come yet.
It's a story that's woven strand by strand, the weaving of lives and the linking of hands. No need to be lonely, the story we share is drawing us, calling us to care. And the story is mine, the story is ours. If we open our ears we can hear a story that grows with the passing of years, made of our laughter, struggle and fears. The story we share, the journey to there is happening here. It's a story of dying and rising again. Friendship found in the wine and the bread round a fire that glows at the end of the day. We share the news and sing the blues away. And the story is mine, the story is ours. If we open our ears we can hear a story that grows with the passing of years, made of our laughter, struggle and fears. The story we share, the journey to there is happening here. It's the story of a God concerned for the small, providing the earth as a mother for all, giving power to build and power to burn. Where to now is surely our concern. For the story is mine, the story is ours. If we open our ears we can hear a story that grows with the passing of years, made of our laughter, struggle and fears. The story we share, the journey to there is happening here. And the story is mine, the story is ours. If we open our ears we can hear a story that grows with the passing of years, made of our laughter, struggle and fears. The story we share, the journey to there is happening here. The story we share, the journey to there. The story we share.